Good morning, everyone. Today, we have a 20-minute yoga workout session. Start in the middle of your mat. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, arms down. Then breathe in, bring your head forward. Then breathe out, walk back into chaturanga. Breathe in, upward facing dog. And breathe out, downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here. Then breathe in, arms up, and breathe out. Now let's modify this a bit. So breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, arms down. Breathe in, lift your right leg up and step back. Bend your front knee and bring your arms up. And then come down as you breathe out into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. And now let's switch sides. So right knee at the front. Try and keep your back leg straight. And release into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Walk your feet out. Okay, now let's walk to the front. Breathe in, head up, and breathe out, head down. Breathe in, arms up. And release. Okay, so let's continue with this routine. Okay, breathe in, arms up. Now breathe out. And bring your right leg back now. Breathe in, bend your front knee. And then breathe out, bring your left leg to the back. And then do chaturanga while hovering your leg. Then upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Now bring your left knee to the front. Breathe in, head up. And then let's breathe out through the chaturanga with your right leg up now. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Well done, this is quite tricky, you're doing so well. Now let's hop to the front. Breathe in, head up, and breathe out. Okay, now bend your elbows. Bring your head down. You can bend your knees slightly and just release your neck and slowly swing from side to side. This is a nice stretch that should relieve any tension. Okay, and now let's release. Okay, let's continue with Utkatasana. Breathe in, chair pose. Then as you breathe out, come on your toes and bring your arms behind you. Let's do this a few times. Try and keep your balance. Okay, now let's release and shake out your legs. Okay, and breathe in, arms up, come on your toes. And let's move sideways into our warrior 2 position. So bend your right knee and your right elbow. And bring your left arm over your ear. For a deeper stretch, you can release your right arm all the way to the floor, but try and keep your back straight and both sides of your back straight. Okay, now let's switch sides. Make sure to tuck your hip bone in and keep your sides even. Do not overbend your front knee. It shouldn't be more than 90 degrees. And look up to your arm. Okay, now let's come to the front. And let's do a forward bend. So with control, come all the way down, bring your arms down and onto your big toes. Wrap your fingers around them and pull yourself all the way down as far as you can, but make sure to keep your back straight. Feel free to touch the floor with your head if you can, but if not, it's okay. Just make sure that your back is straight. Now sit down, bend your right knee and straighten your left leg. And wrap around your right knee with your right arm. And hold on to your arm behind your back. And try and move away from your knee and look in the opposite direction. Now come back up with control and switch to the other side. Wrap your arm behind your back and look up. This should stretch your upper back quite nicely. Now sit down. Bend your right knee over your left leg. And then bring your left elbow around that knee. And stretch into opposite direction. Push away from your knee. Okay, and let's switch sides. So left knee over your right leg. Breathe in, arms up. And as you turn around and breathe out, bring your right elbow onto your knee and stretch away. Try and keep your feet straight. Don't bend them sideways. push away with your fingertips of your left hand. Okay. And release. Now bend your left knee this time and bring your foot onto your groin. Then bring up your right arm and stretch it forward and wrap it around your right foot. And hold on to your left toes with your left hand, if you can, behind your back. Pull yourself forward for a deeper stretch. Okay, let's switch to the other side. Bend your right knee. Wrap around behind your back with your right arm onto your toes. And bring your left hand onto your left foot. And stretch forward. Try and keep the sides of your back even. Come back up and gently release. Now let's do a camel pose. So bend your knees. Feel free to bend your mat so it's softer for your knees, or put a towel underneath. Bend your feet onto your toes, and with control, try and reach your heels with your hands. Do not overbend your lower back. You should feel the stretch in your upper back. And try and tuck your hip bone in. If you have any lower back problems, you should probably avoid this exercise altogether. Now let's compensate. So just come forward with your knees bent. And stay here for a couple of breaths. Now let's try a slightly more difficult variation. Again, if you have issues with your lower back, you should avoid this exercise. So bend your knees. This time, stretch out your feet. Bring both of your hands just above your feet. And then gently move backwards. Hover for a few seconds, then come back up. Okay, now let's compensate. This was a tricky pose. So bring your knees together, bend them, and come up with your hands pushing away from the floor. This should compensate any pain in your lower back. And now let's move into upside down poses. If you are on your period, feel free to skip this. So stretch out your arms, bring your legs straight back, put your toes into your hands, and stretch out your legs. This should further stretch your lower back. Now bring your arms back, bend your elbows, and bring your feet up above you. Let's stay here for a few moments. Now, if you can, release your right leg and bring it to the floor behind your head. If you can't touch the floor, just hover over your head for a few moments. But try and keep your opposite leg straight. Okay, so we're doing the other leg now. And bring them back up. And with control, bring both of your legs onto the floor. Straighten your knees. Your arms behind the back in a lock if you can. Now bend your knees and bring them next to your ears. And put your hands over your feet. This should release any remaining tension in your lower back. Now let's compensate for our upper back. Hold on to your toes, straighten your legs, and with control, come up and come back down. So we're gonna do a few of these rolls. Up as you breathe in, and down as you breathe out. And bring your feet together if you can. Feel free to keep your knees slightly bent, but try not to bend your back. And then release your feet. And let's stay here for a few moments. Then slowly, with control, come down onto the floor. Well done, this was very difficult. So now we just have Shavasana to go, our favorite meditation pose. Lay down on the floor, and let's try and release any remaining tension in our body. So with each breath, bring your attention first to your feet, then to your knees, then to your quads and buttocks, then your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, then move down your arms all the way to your fingertips. Now bring your attention to your mouth. Relax your jaw, your nose, your eyes, and your ears. And stay here for as long as you need. And when you're ready, come back up. And let's take a final deep breath. So breathe in, arms up, and breathe out, Namaste.